Mhm. All right, then let's get started. When Oksana approached me with the request to deliver a speech about the job market and career and growth and success, the first thing that came to my mind was, there's at least one human who thinks I'm successful. And the second was, how on earth do I have the mandate to teach life to a bunch of folks who are barely younger than myself? But then I thought, wait a minute. Maybe specifically because of that, I could be most useful to those people. Because a couple of years ago, I was actually in the same boat as them. I myself graduated from the Faculty of International Relations, the Faculty of Diplomats, as I used to call it and liked to call it, or the you will never get an actual job faculty, as my friends and family used to call it. But today I'm responsible for several EU-funded projects. I work for a huge international organization, and I'm surrounded by expats most of the time, despite living in my home country. So, observing my short but very intense career path from a side, one might think, damn, this guy has so carefully crafted his life plan, perfectly aligning school, studies, internships, jobs. He's probably among those lucky ones who have found their true passion. But no way, it's definitely not like that. Trust me, when I finished school, I didn't have the slightest clue what I wanted to become. The way I chose my faculty was completely random. And you know what? That's fine. We finish school when we are 18. At that age, we struggle to decide what music genre we like, let alone deciding on lifelong career pathway. It's fine because without trying, failing, exploring, there's virtually no way to find out what you're good at and what fulfills you and what brings you joy and makes you happy as a human being. I know that in this part of the world that we all come from, we are used to this conforming to familiar norms sort of approach when it comes to making studies or job or even hobby-related decisions. But the problem with those norms is that they belong to the past. The times when spending 10, 15, 20 years in the same workplace with little to no change in the job descriptions are long gone. I work for people in it for only 2 years, and everyone considers me a veteran. Besides, the job spectrum is now far beyond the classical economist, lawyer, doctor, engineer paradigm, which was trendy when our parents were students, but which doesn't make any sense in the era of VR and 3D printing and ChatGPT. Dear audience, there are 3 main takeaways that I hope will stay with you after our meeting and will make your full of concerns and endlessly exciting university journey a tiny bit more easy. So in the following, I'm going to tell you why you are not bound to your field of study, regardless what it is, how luck is no more than the mere intersection of opportunity and preparedness, and how come that the less time you have, the more time you actually have. I was serious when I told you that I didn't bother much when choosing my field of study. I knew I wanted to go to Romania because as a Moldovan citizen, I could apply for full scholarship in any public university there. But I didn't have the slightest clue what I actually wanted to study. So I guess I was in the same situation as you were several years ago, thinking, lawyer sounds cool. My dad's a lawyer and he kind of pushes me to follow his path. And also I like literature. But then there's this cousin of mine who did letters and now doesn't know what to do with his life. No, I want to be rich. I'll also apply to business and management. I will open a bar, reinvest the capital into crypto and stocks, and voila, by 30 years old, I'll be throwing money like the Wolf of Wall Street. As you see, international relations wasn't like even in my list of top priorities. I ended up there completely by chance. But I started studying. And I can't say that I didn't like it, But also, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world. However, what I soon started to realize is that I wasn't in any way different from most of my colleagues. Everyone knew they wanted to become ambassadors and ministers and members of the European Parliament, but extremely few had at least a draft strategy of how to actually get there. And interestingly, I noticed the same pattern among friends and acquaintances from the other faculties as well. So I was a late freshman when a crucial question popped up in my mind. If all my peers, regardless of their study field, I lost or have only very vague ideas of what their future would look like, then what is the predictor of success in an individual's career during their student years? What do you think was the answer? Okay, I tell you what was the answer, for me at least. It was attitude. One of the key insights I had during my student years was to understand that university is not only a tool to acquire knowledge to be further implemented at jobs, but far beyond that, it is a tool for building working habits, enhancing communication skills and cultural competence, for developing critical thinking, and cultivating ethical and professional behavior. I had been led to understand that it was not that much about the learning itself as it was about learning to learn. You might have a clearer picture of what exactly you want to do or to study after you get your bachelor's degree. Or maybe you are enlightened while studying and you decide to quit and study something else. Or maybe you even realize that you need to take a step back, take a gap year for you to contemplate and figure it out. That's all perfectly fine, as long as you're acquiring soft skills. And don't get me wrong, hard skills still play an important role in many industries, but the evolving nature of these industries, the insane pace at which the job market is changing with the integration of technology, have contributed to a fundamental shift. I can easily confirm from my own work experience that today, what differentiates a good employee from a great one are the soft skills: flexibility, teamwork, time management, things that no business trainer and no motivational book will ever teach you. You've just got to step out of that comfort zone of yours and get involved in as many extracurricular activities as you can. Nowadays, trust me, most of the businesses, most of the organizations and companies will teach you how to do your job. But remember, it is about your attitude, about your disposition towards absorbing that knowledge and seeking more. And this leads me to my second point about seeking and seizing the opportunity. It is always easy to label people's victories as luck, but I assure you that most of the things that you call luck are actually instances when preparedness meets chance. Now, the world around you is full of chances. That essay contest that your professor mentioned at the course, but you felt a bit lazy those days. That small conference that your PhD friend told you about, but you felt insecure about your public speaking skills. That new theater circle that the guys from art school launched, but you felt awkward about trying it out. Chances are everywhere. The question is whether you have the eye to see them. Now, how do you train your eye? Simply by daring to try things and finding out how they work. There is this volunteering organization that is actively recruiting students. Perfect, give it a try. You will obviously not get any pay, but you are making a solid investment in your future. Young people often complain about employers always searching for people with work experience. How can you get that work experience while studying? There are two main ways: volunteering and internships. With volunteering, it's relatively easy. You don't have to volunteer for the Red Cross or for the UN. I mean, you can do that as well if you are persevering enough. But any student-based organization near basically any faculty would work. The trick is to not just get enrolled and pay your annual contribution and to get a fake diploma at the end, but to get engaged in as many projects as possible, in taking leadership roles, in organizing things, in being creative, coming up with your own ideas, and sharing these ideas with other people. This will inevitably contribute to building those much coveted soft skills that I was mentioning earlier. With internship, it can get a little bit trickier. I know, I've been there. Most of you will probably do the by default internship assigned by your faculty in some company or institution, which had seen hundreds of students like you before, and which don't have the tiniest interest in giving you anything tangible in terms of knowledge and skills. Now, my advice to you is try to avoid these by default assignments as much as possible and search for places that genuinely trigger your interest. Don't be afraid if it's a larger organization. Just strike them with your passion and perseverance. Write them, call them, find people who know people from there. Just do anything you can to get there. At the beginning, it might seem discouraging and unreachable, but trust me, smart people always value eagerness and proactivity. Now, even if you don't manage to get to your dream company and are assigned to some by default institution, it's not the end of the world. You can be creative anywhere, in any workplace. Complete your assignments, ask for more work, seek mentorship, literally go to the management of those places, pull them by the sleeves and tell them that you want to learn. Ask them, how can you be helpful? I did my internship in Brussels while studying in Romania. Believe me, getting there was anything but easy. For 6 months, I went through the 9 circles of Kafkaesque bureaucracy to convince my faculty to fund my semester in Belgium, and convince employers and landlords in Brussels to accept a non-EU citizen for a paid internship, because obviously I didn't have the financial means to sustain my living there. But in the end, after spending most of my free time for half a year on writing tons of cover letters, asking my university professors for letters of recommendation, poor people at some point started to avoid me because, you know, you have to tailor each of your letters of recommendation to the specific institution that you apply for if you want to increase your chances. So yeah, sorry, Oksana and Yulia, if after this you'll have students coming to you and asking for letters of recommendation, but that's an indispensable piece of this process. So in the end, I got to Brussels, and you know, it was one of the most enriching and the most meaningful experiences of my life. And you forget very quickly about all the suffering that you are going through to get there. Trust me, it's worth it getting there. It's worth it getting to your dream destination. Third, the less time you have, the more time you have. I know it may sound strange at first, but I've discovered that time works in a very paradoxical way. Did you notice that the more time you allow your brain to complete a task, the more time it will spend on procrastination and on tricking you that it is trying to figure out how to solve the task? Magically, the more tasks you give to your brain, you will see how it starts taking less time to accomplish them. And the most amazing thing is that the quality of the accomplished tasks will most of the time insignificantly vary, because anyway, your brain starts taking the task seriously only when it's close to the deadline, right? Like when you have your assignment, when you have to study for your exams, you know that you have to study for exams for like 4 weeks. Anyway, you will get close to it in the 2 days before the exam actually happens. That's how brains of most of the people works. So don't be afraid to pack your agenda with activities, even you have other important assignments going on. You like informing yourselves from reliable sources and have solid opinion on things? Great, join the debate club and learn how to constructively argue and convince other people about your beliefs, or listen to them and maybe they'll manage to change your mind. You are passionate about a certain domain, or you like explaining things but are afraid to do it in public. Wonderful. Join the Toastmaster Club or other public speaking club in your city and learn how to effectively communicate and share your knowledge with the others. Remember one crucial thing. In great part, regardless of what you do and how well you actually do it, you are only as good as you can communicate about it. Of course, you can be that Batman that does cool things from the shadow and let their actions speak for them. But you will soon realize that in order to truly advance and succeed, you will only have to be good at speaking about it. You need to convince other people about it. Otherwise, they will never find out, or like they'll find out but very little about it. And now getting to the seizing the opportunity part. Listen, just squeeze all the juices out of your student status. You might think you are now in a weak position, but that's far from being true. As a student, you have massive opportunities that won't be available after you gain real work experience, because they were designed specifically for young people at the beginning of their career path, such as this conference, for instance. Erasmus study exchanges or any other exchange programs abroad, including volunteer, just take them without hesitation. They're the quickest shortcut to open your mind, to understand yourself better, and most importantly, to get to know people. Networking and knowing people is key to success. Many of the best opportunities that will ever arise in your life will not come from the web, will not come from headhunters or from LinkedIn or from wherever. They will come from friends and acquaintances that you managed to make during these years, during this early stage of yours. And usually you won't even expect it, but these people that you met on the way, they will disclose crazy opportunities of which otherwise you will never even have thought. I mean, I met Oksana very randomly several years ago in a very short Erasmus exchange of 7 or 10 days. And look, so many years later, I'm here delivering this speech in front of you in a conference organized with her participation. It's insane how life works, but you will see in time how things make sense and how they connect to each other. Lastly, if you're thinking to continue your studies abroad, many universities have scholarship programs where you can apply and study for free. And you would be surprised to find out, but there are programs that specifically target Eastern European students, and specifically those coming from the EU's Eastern neighborhood countries. They're usually very competitive, it's true, but even if you don't manage to get one of those, don't despair. There are countries, especially in Northern Europe, that provide free tuition even to non-EU students. To conclude, my dear young friends, I want to re-emphasize the 3 powerful takeaways that I was mentioning at the beginning. Firstly, remember that you are not bound to your field of study. Decisions you make at a young age do not have to define your entire future. Embrace the fact that your journey is filled with exploration, trial, and error, because only through trying new things, failing, and learning from those experiences, you will discover what truly fulfills you and brings you joy. Soft skills such as flexibility, teamwork, time management are becoming increasingly valuable on the job market. So step out of your comfort zone, get involved in extracurricular activities, and acquire those essential skills that will set you apart. Secondly, luck is often the result of preparedness meeting opportunity. Opportunities surround us constantly, but it takes a keen eye and willingness in order to seize them. Volunteer, take internships, and actively seek out experiences that suit your interests and goals. Even if you find yourself in a less than ideal situation, be spontaneous, improvise, Trust me, I've been there for a long time. Perfectionism won't do anything but harm your productivity. It's true. You can try to explore it on your own. So don't be afraid to ask for support. And remember that perseverance and eagerness are valid qualities that will open many doors for you. Lastly, embrace the paradox that the less time you have, the more time you actually have. Procrastination can eat away precious hours. By challenging yourself with multiple tasks and managing your time effectively, you will find that you accomplish more in less time. Pack your agenda with activities that align with your passions and ambition. Join clubs, engage in debates, improve your communication skills. As a student, you have unique opportunities that won't be as readily available later in your career. So exchange programs, networking opportunities, scholarships, take advantage of them now and as soon as you can. As you navigate the journey of your university and beyond that, remember that your path will not be linear. Success doesn't look like this. Success looks like this sometimes, and then like this, or it looks like this. It's definitely not like that. If you think success looks like that, then you'll probably be unhappy and disappointed and discouraged on this whole beautiful path. So embrace the unknown, explore those opportunities, but don't forget to take pauses. Don't forget to take time for yourselves in order to process, in order to digest, and simply enjoy the trip. Thank you.
Thank you, Mihai. If I knew that you have such wonderful public speaking skills, I would ask you to come for the launch of the school. Thank you so much. It was really engaging, and it's so true about Erasmus and all these opportunities. We are discussing with our students about that. And in fact, we are telling them, and those who speak English and those who are adventurous enough, they are ready to go. And me personally, if I start teaching the group from the very first year, then I usually do a lot of references. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, yes, the active part of the students is not that big. So thank you for this inspiration for them. I hope they will understand that any opportunity, especially like this one, when you sit at home in pajamas and listen to different experiences, it's a very cool thing to do. Thank you so much.
Definitely, Oksana. I would even take a bit of more time to re-emphasize on that point. Student exchanges, and not necessarily Erasmus. You probably have more opportunities available besides those offered by the European Union. Take them. I know it might sound difficult, the idea of stepping out of your comfort zone, going to live in a foreign country, being on your own, but trust me, day 1, you will already make 5 friends. Day 2, there will be 10. Day 3, it will be 15.
Yeah.
All the people who are there are in the same situation as you, and they want to bond and to engage and make friends and build beautiful relationships. There's nothing to lose in such opportunities. Don't worry. You will be able to, how to say, like, I know that you have to pass some exams and then you have to come back and present the paper like from your host university.
To get information, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last thing you should care about. Just do it. In terms of exchange students, exchange trips or opportunities, just take it without hesitation. I promise.
I liked that you said about non-European Union citizen experience, because for us it's very crucial. I also myself wanted to join different programs, and then I understood that it's all about EU citizenship. But one thing you said very right, it's that there are many opportunities which are not funded by the European Union, and they may be funded, for example, by a particular university, and that's why they don't care either you're coming from EU or not. And the second thing which you said, it's that there are some exchanges and trainings which are short-term. They can be also not funded by the European Union, but within Erasmus, it's the most popular one. And I will write in the chat the website where you can find these opportunities. It's called Salto Use. I think that everyone knows about it. Those, yes, those who use it. Personally, I used it many times, and that's why I think even via this website, I applied for the training where we met with Mihai. I don't remember where
exactly.
did
I
we
also
meet.
applied there. One minute.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
It's very true. And like, but even, even the EU-funded programs, like especially lately, they start to put a lot of emphasis on students from Eastern Europe, especially those, because European Union has two neighborhoods, the southern and the eastern one. The eastern one is massively prioritized. So like I can speak for my domain because I come from international relations, and our like greatest institution for where like the highest ranking, basically the school where the European Union's public servants are built, is called Central European University. It has two campuses. One is in Belgium and another one in Poland. It used to be in Hungary before Orban decided that he wants to engage on the Eurosceptical path, but that's another whole story. So like even these like highestly valued European University for International Relations, they have programs specifically for students from Eastern Europe. So it's literally only for them to apply. There are several places only you can apply. So if you're interested in this domain of diplomacy, international relations, you can check the website of the CEU, Central European University. Excellent studies, and they cover full scholarship well, but it's of course extremely competitive, but you can do it. Trust me. Yeah, exactly. You can do it.
Really? Yes, I didn't know about this, by the way. We have two questions, Alexandra and I missed it. And Maria, I think, yes? Alexandra, maybe you will be first.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your speech. I agreed with everything, actually. And as a person who has a bachelor degree in international economic relations, I understand your pain when people always saying that you won't find a job in this field of study. Never. So I wanted to ask you how to combine your extra activities like conferences, volunteering, internships, as you said, with the study in university and work.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Yeah, I understand that for some students it can be even more challenging since they need to acquire like some funds, some money in order to sustain their living. That is definitely more challenging. But again, in the end, it's about prioritizing. If now for you having a part-time job is a priority, then do that, because like it's essential for you to continue your studies. So maybe you would have less time for those extracurricular activities because most of your free time is filled with your job. But still, I would always recommend having some side projects. Side projects are those things that keep you motivated, keep you going. Because when you're only focused on one thing, you tend in time to like have a decreasing level of like love, of attraction, of engagement in that thing. But having these side projects always keep you motivated. And in your particular case, like extracurricular activities doesn't mean like you have to go to the gym 3 times a week, and then you have to go to, I don't know, yoga 2 times, and then you have to attend some debate club or whatever another 2 times a week. No, it can be just one thing. Just pick one thing. So what I would recommend is ask yourself what you genuinely love. Try to find just one place that offers this opportunity, and go there for 1 hour during the whole week. Just 1 hour. But pick something that you really enjoy. And I promise you would be looking forward to that day when this whatever thing that you picked will happen. So to sum it up, still try to find one thing that you love, go there. It doesn't have to be like a very extensive investment of your time, but pick something that you genuinely like. I think this will help you move forward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, I want to confirm this from the point of view of my own experience. Like in 2000, God give me memory, I think in 2008, we started a volunteering agency in Sumy City within one of our projects at the basis of local NGO. And at that moment, people didn't know what volunteering is, and I didn't know what volunteering is. And basically, I also thought that, okay, to become a volunteer for a local NGO, it takes like hours of your life. No. Basically, I know people who spend, for example, as you said, 1 hour in a local shelter for dogs. They just come and walk with them for an hour, and that's it. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that if you become a volunteer, you need to commit all your life or all your weeks and so on. So that's one thing. And second thing, from what I see, what is required by either universities or those who give individual grants, or same like European Commission, which Mihai mentioned, he did a huge job, by the way, by applying for that internship. Basically, that's why I invited you. They all like when you do something else except your studies. And this something else, in fact, it's a comprehensive thing. It's not only volunteering, it's also participation somewhere in some projects where you get additional skills. That's why if you check the CV, the resume template, you will see that there is always one part which is dedicated to your additional skills, which are not related to your professional background. So you need to have something to write there. So when I was a student, I was writing there like drawing and reading books. Now I write much more, and that helped me several times in my life. We have Maria.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, just one last mention for Alexandra. So, like, I understand that probably the job that you're doing besides your university isn't like in any way related to the
Yes,
actual job that you will want to do later in life.
Can I add something? Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that extra activities are like conferences and internships, and you should give them time. Like it's not an hour a day; they have the particular time bound. So that's why it's more complicated.
Yes, but you know that these kind of internships and study exchanges, they actually pay you money, and now it was at least recently a huge thing in the European Union level that they want to pay their interns and their volunteers more, because like as to be able to fully sustain their own living without having to have like additional means of income. So usually when you would go on these exchanges, on these internships, they will give you some money. Now, I know it is little, but first of all, if you are good at making savings, that could be one thing that will help you. And second, like even if you go abroad, people would usually also happily offer you jobs. It would be small jobs, part-time jobs, but you can still do it abroad. Like you are not bound to your like country of origin. When I did my Erasmus in Germany for half a year, I had friends that were taking part-time jobs there. It wasn't something like huge. It was maybe like in a printing shop or something similar, but I mean you can still do it. Trust me, like once you set the goal, you will find the means to get there. If you just stay in a position and you try to do this SWOT analysis, what will work, what will not work, then you start overthinking it, and it doesn't really help. If you set a clear goal, you will find resources to get there.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last comment here. It's my topic. I will talk about it more later, but it's my topic. All these things which are funded through Salto Youth, please check on the right side. You will see a note about costs, and usually these students exchanges and mobilities which last from 3 to 5 to 10 days, they are fully covered. That's why financially it's super cool. And if
And
you
even
say
the
to
travel
your
costs,
to your teachers that you are going there, you will definitely come back with a certificate which will prove it. It's called Use Pass. I'm going to talk about it today as well. So some of the teachers can even get these credits confirmed for their courses. So you can implement that into your studies. And okay, if it's not related by the topic, still you can get permission from your department, I think, because each Ukrainian university has a ranking, and now we need to report that our students get non-formal education outside university. So anyway, you will be encouraged to go. Maria, please, you're welcome to ask a question.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you so much. I'm as well was interesting about this question. So you told about some volunteers projects, and like sometimes it's not safe. I just want to do some volunteer, but I'm not sure which can be safe. Maybe you can recommend some link or some program which can be like safe, you know. I means like it's really this program, like it's you come in this country, it will be volunteer, you know.
Yeah. No, that's a perfectly fine concern. So I was speaking about two types of volunteering in my speech. First is volunteering locally. Second is volunteering abroad. I'll start with volunteering abroad because that's probably your main question. My go-to like website or concept when it comes to volunteering abroad would be EVS, European Volunteering Service. I don't know, Oksana, did you share this with them, or you plan to do it later on?
I am typing it in the chat. It's European Solidarity Corps now.
Sorry, they
renamed.
changed the name. Yeah. When I was in university, it was a bit different. So yeah, European Solidarity Corps. You can register there, make an account. You don't have to be an European citizen in order to get in like many of their volunteering opportunities. They have amazing opportunities all over the world. And you also, as far as I remember, get the traveling cost covered, and also you even receive like a small per diem. So they even give you some small pocket money. And trust me, like in this kind of setup, it's few, but it's enough because you live in kind of commune. So usually you live with other people, put money together, buy things together, cook together. So like, trust me, money is not the main concern in such experiences. Yes, you're right. There are many like fake organizations that try to like take advantage of young people and promise you like whatever internship in Bali or in this kind of very exotic countries. I won't really trust those. You can start with EVS, European Solidarity Corps. They already have a lot. Plus, there is also the volunteering program from the United Nations. You can check that out as well. So basically, go for these opportunities that are offered by big institutions or big organizations that are trustworthy, and don't bite yourself on this kind of advertisement which offer like crazy opportunities in faraway lands, because it's most probably a fake scheme. And now coming to the volunteering locally, I was speaking based on my experience in Romania, but I'm quite sure it works the same in Ukraine. So like each faculty had their own like little NGO, student-based. Like for instance, I was studying European international relations, and we had the Society of European Students. So we were basically a bunch of folks from the Faculty of European Studies that were doing like small projects all over the country. Like meaning like some small charity for the children, going to schools and spreading the word about the European Union and this kind of things. I'm quite sure, if not in your faculty, then try it in other faculties. I'm very sure they have this kind of like student-based organization. Like the positive side of these organizations is that like that require minimum engagement. So this is also a bit to touch upon Alexandra's question. Like you are not forced to get constantly engaged and like invest a whole load of money, but time. You will never invest a whole lot of money. but like still it's up to you how much you want to be engaged. You know, you can start as a volunteer, but then you can become a coordinator and start, maybe you have your own project idea and then you want to implement it. This proactivity initiative you can always put in your CV. It will be massively appreciated by your future employees. I hope I asked at least partially your question, Maria.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I am continuing. It's for local initiatives, as you said, based on our Department of International Economic Relations. We have the NGO, which is called, actually we have several ones. One of them is called Council for Young Scientists, Rada молодих учених. Another one is Center of Long Life Learning. I am putting the link to the chat, but basically you can address to any either me or Petroshenko Yuri Mykolaievich, the head of our department, and we can offer you some volunteering opportunities, but they are different from those which are provided by the Center of European Initiatives. Center of European Initiatives join some projects, and then these projects can offer you volunteering abroad, for example, or some training abroad. In our case, we can offer you volunteering, like, for example, we develop projects, so you can join the process of development of the project. So it's going to be your experience in developing project skills, project design skills. And then if you do projects, you can join to implement this project. So basically in your CV, you will be able to write experience in project design and management. So any opportunity is possible. We have Alexandra who raised a hand.
Sorry. Oksana, I wanted to ask you if people from different universities can apply to this, because usually universities provide these opportunities for people from their university. So that's
usually these organizations, they usually work for whoever. They are just based at a certain university. If you tell me your city, I might probably know some organization, local organization from your city. In our case, it's open.
I'm from Khmelnytsky National University, so it's more like I'm working with the department, International Relations Department in my university. So that's why.
Okay, unfortunately in Khmelnytsky I didn't know anyone, but this Center of European Initiatives is the whole Ukrainian organization, and they post the information about possible things, possible opportunities easy. So actually they are open for anyone, and now I'm trying to find where I copied the link. It's one of the examples of the links. Now I remember. One of the examples of the links of the channels on Telegram. I think it's one of the most popular now channel for dissemination of information for youth, where they just flood with all possible opportunities. So one of the things which I would offer for you is to sign up for many Telegram channels like that. They post opportunities for everyone from Ukraine, and then you will just follow the announcement and then just try to find the the feedback about these NGOs. Дивіться просто відгуки про ці організації. So those students, you're welcome. Those students who check the feedback, they usually don't have troubles because like nowadays in the digital society, it's easy to find the feedback. And so basically you will know everything what you need. And it also refers to those NGOs which will host you if you go abroad, because I know that many organizations try to earn money on volunteers, for example. They don't give away all the pocket money, blah, 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 but it's all possible to check. It's one on one hand, and on second hand, you always have national agencies which will help you to fight this. So there are bodies which will help you. Mihai shared his email.
Plus, just to follow up on this, in my faculty at least, there was like the Bureau of International Cooperation. It's usually somewhere around the Faculty of International Relations, but which is open not only to the students of the international relations, but for everyone. I don't know, Oksana, if you have such an institution, like
it depends on the university, but in most universities, these offices, I'm sorry to say that they're useless. They work mostly for signing international agreements and for reporting. So you need to check your, namely university, how efficiently they work. If not, then just use the opportunities of local NGOs or the websites which I shared, or Telegram channels.
Yeah, that's a shame, because in our case, in this bureau, like you could go and you can say that, okay, I want to travel abroad, and they would give you all the opportunities that are available. And they don't always come, you know, from the international institutions. Like there are some programs funded by embassies of particular countries, because each country has its priority countries. And then they always make some kind of funding opportunities, especially for youth. So like in this kind of offices, usually you can find advertisement. And yes, I left my email, my personal email in the chat. So like if any of you have questions or need support, or just want to talk about like career or this sort of things, feel free to approach me. Yeah, sorry, Oksana. Oksana?
My internet is hanging. I don't know if anyone hears me.
Yeah, now we hear you. Yeah.
Hello? You hear me, okay.
Yeah.
So in the chat, I have placed the link to the Department of Youth Policy from the Ministry of Youth and Sports of Ukraine, and they are actively posting the traveling and grant opportunities as well. So check their Facebook page too. So, are there any questions to Mihai? Feels like no, because I don't see any, or my internet is hanging, I don't know. So thank you so much, Mihai. We will. Okay, you say, because I'm hanging.
No, I was just saying that I can go back to work. But yeah.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. That thank you so much for your time, and you're free to go. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. And wishing you the best of luck. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for listening to my speech, for addressing your questions. Good luck now that you already know what is luck. Good luck in your studies. Good luck in your further career pathways. Never despair, because trust me, at some point you will connect the dots and things will start making sense. So even if you have some side jobs, you do some assignments that might now seem that they have no connection to your future, it's not true. You are developing skills. You are developing soft skills that we were talking about. You are developing skills of interacting with people, and that's crucial. It's very, very crucial for your development, and this will help you open many doors in the future. And you will always have advantage when, besides those who didn't do anything besides studying. So yeah, engage in extracurricular activities, whatever it is. Do side job, it's okay, and eventually you will see how this will be fulfilling and joyful, and you will get on your track. Thank you.